G'day everybody, and welcome to the happy hour. G'day True Blue, Blue Bum, 43 OG. How are you guys going?
What's going on?
Good, mate.
Did you think that was funny with the old
That was
the
killer.
Cheetan blooper in there? That was good.
Yeah.
I saw that during the week and I pissed myself laughing. I was like, I'll throw this in there as an Easter egg. Happy Friday, everybody.
Indeed.
Friday. You're supposed to Friday in the Twitter post. So I'm like, is that the saying? Happy Friday. Like, it's Friday.
Yeah. That's what it's like. It's the happy hour. Happy in name only. Disclaimer. Prices are wrecked, but we will carry on.
Buying opportunity for those who missed out previously.
That's right.
There you go.
It's a cross-opportunity.
Yeah,
that's what I like to think. Yeah.
You know what though? I'm feeling like, you're saying like, price is down or whatever, and it's happy in name only. But today I saw a glimpse of the community getting back together with all rallying around going to this this hearing for RH in October. So nice. I thought that was really good. Like finally that thing where everyone's like, we're all going to go, and be there for the hearing. So I reckon that's pretty good news.
Yeah, there's been a lot happening with the hearings, and also with the SEC targeting Uniswap. I think that's huge, man. Like now, all of a sudden, it's sort of like the rest of the crypto world is kind of looking at Uniswap and thinking, well, hang on, but this is it was fine for the SEC to go after RH. They didn't care for some reason, but now they're going after Uniswap. It's like this is what RH has been talking about. It's about the government trying to take down cryptocurrency, really, and it's sort of bigger than just hexagons. And we've sort of been saying that from the start. Like, if this can happen to us, that can happen to anyone. And I think now that it's happening to Uniswap, it's kind of an opportunity for us to be like the bigger man and kind of go, okay, you talk smack about us when it happened to us, but now we're actually going to roll up our sleeves and fight for the actual cause. So I think that's been a pretty big development this week.
Definitely.
Yeah. What did you think about that, Bluey, when you saw the Uniswap, that Hayden Adams or whatever from Uniswap, he did that post?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't surprise me that the SEC are going after them as well. I thought it was quite ironic that someone looked at where their employees have been donating political money to, and it's all to
really
Democrat people. They're actually giving money to the people who are most likely trying to
stitch them up.
Come after them. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I wonder if Trump does get into power, do you think that there'll be a change in some of these things? Like, do you think he'll just sack Gensler straight off the bat and that sort of thing?
Gensler will probably just leave.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, but it's nothing you can rely on.
Yeah,
I mean, the whole irony of this thing is that they can't take it down anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Who's going to enforce it?
They're there forever. It's like you can say, okay, this is illegal, don't use it, but everyone's going to just use a different front end. There's going to be, like, Alex popped the front end up like that. Like, there's going to be tons of front end contracts, and so there's no way that they can actually control it. I don't know if anyone's told them that, or they just like
and within what jurisdiction as well, because with the sort of prevalence of VPNs and just the fact that we're not even in the US, it's like, where is this just jurisdiction for them to sort of be the world police and say, oh well, we're going to make it illegal? It's like, okay, that's great, but the rest of us are still going to use it. I guess Australia will probably follow suit, though. That's the scary thing, is that we tend to just follow whatever the US does. So I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen here as well.
I was looking yesterday at Palau e-residency, and you're finding these things. The same thing with Estonia. Estonia has an e-residency as well, and I think you're going to get more of these popping up. And people are using the Palau e-residency as a way to get around.
Sorry, where is Palau?
Palau is this in Micronesia. It's
Okay.
it's this bunch of islands. Hardly anybody lives there, and it's
Right.
really interesting because it's an American. The Americans protect it. They use American money, but they're not part of the FATF or whatever it's called, or FATP, the organization which is trying to orchestrate the central banks to come out against cryptocurrencies and to do measures against currencies. And they're not actually part of that. And they sit in a really interesting position in that because they're so close to China and they recognize Taiwan. But Americans are there. So they've always been kind of this in-between country and so the Americans want them so that they keep on not recognizing, so they keep on recognizing Taiwan. China wants
that's a dangerous position to take when you're that close to China. But anyway,
yeah, but they seem to be fine. Right. It seems like a beautiful place. Like I looked at a few kind of.
I'm sure it is.
It's this island paradise. Only like 20,000 people live there or something. But it's a nation state. It's in the UN, and you can get e-residency. And it costs like $250, and basically you can use that to put your residency on exchanges.
Okay.
And so it's a way of getting around a lot of Americans.
So they give you an address, an e-residency. They give you an actual address that you would.
People, they haven't got that yet, although apparently that's coming. So you can actually have a residence in Palau, and you can actually pay a utility bill in Palau and stuff like that if you want. But that hasn't come through yet. But they what was I going to say? Can't remember now. Yeah,
well, if you can get on an exchange using that e-resident sort of thing, then that is pretty big. And I think there's still exchanges out there that don't need KYC. Say again.
There might be
no KYC.
I haven't. Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't used
it.
Yeah.
The tricky thing is getting back to fiat. That's like getting back to your bank. That's all of those exchanges have KYC.
Bitrefill, yeah.
Bitrefill doesn't know.
Well, there's some no, but what I'm saying is that
some things you can use.
Getting back.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people use. It's Bitrefill is gift cards for those who don't know. So you can get all sorts of things: hotels, airplanes, shopping, pretty much there's just tons of stuff you can get gift cards for, and that's an easier way to get back into the fiat world.
I think there's also that there's someone else that does it as well. I'll see if I can look it up while you guys are talking. And 43, you were going to say something? Sorry, man. I didn't mean to interrupt. Oh, I thought you were saying something. Sorry, go ahead.
What about what we were talking about before?
Sorry. I just got.
I might have had something to chime in about before, but I thought
I interrupted you. That's all good. That's all good.
No,
I was just about to see if we're live because we've got 0 comments, and there's look, actually, it says up here 5 live viewers. Oh man, this is some bear market numbers right here.
That's a buy signal. Without any.
Yeah. For sure.
Do you stream this to Twitter as well?
No, I don't. No, I'm not verified. I didn't really want to just pay for that. So I was like,
you don't need to be verified to do that.
Oh, really? I thought that was part of it. Yeah.
You just no. You can just stream it to Twitter.
You know what? I have thought about this a little bit, and I thought
way more viewers.
Well, yeah, possibly. But it's also because I've got the DeFi with Doza channel as well. And I was thinking about maybe stopping the dual stream to that. And because of it's like the split view pressure. It's like the whole thing that people talk about with the p-hex, e-hex. And it's like, if you're splitting your view pressure across multiple platforms, where if you just concentrate it, I don't know. I haven't done it. I can't be bothered. I don't know if that's true or not.
If we were talking about 7,000 live viewers
Yeah. But have you noticed?
Yeah, bring
on
it
Twitter,
all over. But like, if we're talking 7 here and like 1 over there, like
I think a better analogy is probably going
bro.
fishing. And can you be fishing in a number of different places at the same time, or can you be fishing?
Yeah,
one
there
place?
does seem to be a lot more views on
Twitter.
Twitter. So yeah, that's maybe something I can suss out.
Do you reckon the numbers are legit on Twitter? So sometimes the numbers seem to be so high.
Irrelevant.
Things that are being streamed on there.
Completely irrelevant.
Their numbers. It's all good.
Their numbers.
Yeah.
It makes up for all the like all the non-likes or all the missed likes that posts don't get.
That's right. Yeah.
That's true. I was just going to show this video that you sent me through. So this is.
Do you want to show it at the end, maybe, like as an outro?
Because I've got it lined up, and I've got a couple of other tabs I want to show. So I thought I might just quickly run through it, because it only goes for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's a song.
It's a song. So this is Jay Everything. This is the guy, the TYRH guy. And yeah, I'll just quickly crank this one, but I haven't heard it, but apparently it's good. So tell me if you can hear this.
Yep.
Yeah, already said it from the beginning, he did it. His galaxy mind design, something so fine, it will have all of us winning by supporting it and giving it just a little bit of time. I went along with it, fast forwarding it, got me thinking of resign. After every dip back on the rise, all by design. Everybody gotta eat, and we got a lot of meat on the bone left for them little guys. Very cautious, hesitate, taking small steps at a time. Don't wanna be on a shitty end, relive 2017 again. Grandson and daughter gonna be part of the 1%. Grandfather done bought the tip, dry powder found around him. Sold some of grandma shit, jewelry I knew she wouldn't miss. You witnessing the greatest wealth transfer of the millennium, only a fool surrounded by winners. No defeatist attitude within us. Attitude and gratitude is a must. PLSX, PLSX, all that I trust. Hex, Flex, PLS, Dex, just swap it up. T-shares been about enough. No middleman, D, I got a suck. You ain't aware of Richard Hart. Pretty clear, you ain't got a pulse. Join in, you can win by default. Surrounded by winners. Anytime, many of my friends died at Hex, not at Vex. That I'm no longer around them, wishing that they listen instead of bitching on the founder. Daily pay, make it rain every day like I'm living in the shower. They ain't getting it today, then let them get it at $1. Real winners in the game be the same holders in the founders. Stake it and put it away, gratification when the time comes. Stake and let it make the waiting better. Never early end staking ever. Hex can me out of poverty. Now the bank tell a smile at me, like I'm cashing out a lottery, wondering how I'll be periodically passing the green light, buying property. Used to be the guy without the cheese, now I'll be the guy that try to be. Failed to see the signs I can see. Finally living the dream I only could vividly see. While I live on winners, no defeatist attitude within us. Attitude and gratitude is a must. PLSX, PLSX, all that I trust. Hex, Flex, PLS, Dex, just swap it up. Winners, no defeatist attitude within us. Attitude and gratitude is a must. PLSX, PLSX, all that I trust. Hex, Flex, PLS, Dex, just swap it up. Winners, no defeatist attitude within us. Attitude and gratitude is a must. PLSX, PLSX, all that I trust. Hex, Flex, PLS, Dex, just swap it up.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was a really cool track. Yeah, I really like that. What did you guys think of that?
So Jay Everything made that? Is that?
Yeah, Jay Everything. Yeah, that's an absolute banger for sure. I really like that.
I put the link in the chat, so go check it out and give it a like.
Awesome. Yeah, that was really cool. I really liked it. I liked the TYRH song as well. I thought that was cool. Yeah.
Which we premiered on the Hex Late Show back in the day.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, let us know what you think about that in the chat. I thought it was pretty sick. Yeah, and we'll have a look in the
we missed.
chat. Say hello here. What is that?
Miss opening the beer.
Mate, I didn't miss it. I'm already 2 sheets to the wind over here.
Oh, really?
Big time. All right, so let's have a look here. We've got Crypto Class. How you going?
Hey, Class.
Retrostatic is in the house. Oh, we've got 12 viewers. Look at us go. We've got Yaveen. Thank you very much for your always being there and supporting us. Thanks, Yaveen. Yeah, we've got a few things here. So let us know. Hi ho Hex. Let us know what's up, how you guys are going. And if you've got any things you want us to chat about, or any charts or anything you want us to talk about. I think one of the biggest things that sort of happened this week was there was a few coins that there was a bit of whale manipulation, whale kind of movement in the PulseChain ecosystem. A couple of meme coins came out, this sort of thing. I think the Tangang have just released that Cheetan one, which is that cat who kicks that ball in his face like earlier, that mascot thing, which I thought was pretty funny. And yeah, the Solid Hex, or Solid X, I should say, that just went on an absolute moon mission.
That was on fire.
Yeah, I think I was rich for about a day, and then now it's come back down. So, yeah, but
what did it get?
I don't know. I think I saw it at about 250, 260, but I think it went higher.
Yeah, I think it wicked to about 290, something like that, almost 300. So it's pretty nuts.
Pretty hectic.
Did anyone take any profits? Any of you guys take profits of that? Yeah.
Yeah. I put in with the lottery ticket, so and I took out my principal, and then I dumped it. That was me, guys. No, I didn't. What happened? I took out my principal, as I like to do with lottery tickets, and then I regretted it because it just kept pumping, and I was like, oh well, what are you going to do? And then I think I took some profit, and then now and I was like thinking, every time people keep selling this chart, it just keeps punishing them. And then I made the foolish error of thinking that it would just never go down. And then it just woke up the next day and was like, my bags. But,
I mean, with those things, right, they're basically not even as good as meme coins in some sense, because you have the Axis, you have the Solid X, you have the Hex Fire, which are all lovely. They're all lovely guys. They're all really lovely people who've done great stuff for the community. But from what I can work out, like, they just put out these tokens and kept huge bags for themselves so that they could play the liquidity game. And it's like, okay, so you probably get all of your friends and people from the Hex community who know you buying them up. But after that, what happens?
Well, it was interesting because I kind of faded the Axis token when it came out. I was like, that is the most ridiculous chart. And I was like, I'm not buying that. And then it just kept going up. And I just, so when I realized it was the same deployer, I was like, I'm just going to get a small, lottery ticket bag, like miniature. And then, it did quite well. I told you took my principal out, that sort of stuff. So that way, you can't really go wrong. But I did notice as it was sort of going up heaps, it started to become competitive with some of those Solana meme coins, and it was starting to show up in like those spaces where people were saying these are the top 10 meme coins of the week, and there's all these ridiculous whiff coins and absolute scam, pump and dumps on Solana, and it started to show Solid X, and there were people that were going into the Telegram that were like, how do I get onto PulseChain? What is this thing? They're literally just chasing green candles. So I think in some regard, it did kind of bring some eyes onto PulseChain. Yeah. So I think maybe net positive. I don't know anyone that's lost money on it. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like you've lost like paper gains because it's like, oh, it could have been worth so much more or whatever. But I think with these sorts of things, if you do go into a meme coin and it does well, and then you take those profits and you get to rotate it into one of your core coins at a low, like what we're seeing now, that's just how you kind of ratchet it up, because you're not spending new dry powder. You're just taking gains from some pump and dump that could have literally gone to zero or has actually done really well, and then you put it into something you actually have conviction on.
It's just so hard, and this is the case for all of these meme coins as well. It's so difficult to swing trade them because your human psychology comes into it so much. And what I've noticed is that, like I said, okay, this is where all the money is going. I'm gonna place a couple of lottery tickets, and it's like stuff goes up, and you're like, the anxiety levels of when do I sell, how much do I sell, or do I hold on? And then if you don't hold on, if you don't sell, then and then it goes down underneath what you put it in for, then you're all kind of like, oh shit, is it gonna dump to zero? Shall I just get out? Or it's down now, shall I double my bag and pour more money into it? And you just got all of these.
I think a lottery ticket in my mind is like it's the money that you don't care if you lose it. You know what I mean? Like if it goes to zero, it goes to zero. Like it's just like and then if it does really well, you take your principal out, let it ride as a moon bag. It's just I mean, that's the game. I reckon you can't get too emotionally attached to paper gains and equally so paper losses, really. Like you know, it doesn't really matter until you cash out or when you cash in. So you've got to realize those gains, otherwise it's just all paper.
I like trying to get more hex out of anything, so that's what I've been doing with it. You know, transferring some over into hex and decis at a really good sort of rate again. It's back at a discount, so that's what I've been enjoying doing with my bags. Interesting.
Which deci are you?
P deci, the Ethereum decis at a discount as well, but even the PulseChain deci is at a discount, like premium by cost, but also the backing with the T-share, rate and all that. So
I noticed that just with those perpetuals, I'm not sure which side it's on. Maybe I should bring up that website that has a good chart of it. What is it? Hexscout.com.
Scout's good.
They was it? I'm not sure which side. Is it base that's like double the? I'm not sure which one it is. One that, and I was like, I couldn't work out why it was at such a good rate.
I'm at on lookintomaxi.com. The only one that's got a huge discount I can see is Deci, but
so
on Hexscout.
I can try and pull up Hexscout. Let me just
Hexscout on the Ethereum side, right? And if you've got like base or trio, like they're at like
these look like they're premiums.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I reckon there's some glitches in this sometimes.
Base, trio, and Lucky are all premiums.
You think that's a glitch, do you?
Oh, look, I mean, I'm up to you guys. I mean, I'm sticking to the PulseChain side for this stuff, but
I'm not. By the way, I'm not suggesting anyone should do anything with that, but I just thought it was interesting.
No. Some people, see price down as opportunity, but I'm more of a I like to see confirmations and things like that. I'm probably less risk averse.
The point, what I was saying with that base one is just it's for every base that you have, you get 4 or 5 hex.
Okay,
that's why it was so weird. But but I don't even know if that's real. It might not be real. It might be a glitch.
I'm seriously considering. On Ethereum, yeah. Let's have a look. So, but they look like premiums, right? 400% premiums. That's not a
premium.
discount.
Yeah, it's a premium. So if you sell the base, you get like more hex for it.
Maybe there's no liquidity.
I think you're.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
I reckon
That's
the numbers
probably-
they're getting some
That's
like.
not the way
interference.
That's not the way that I understood it. I thought that was saying that is being priced 461% times the value that's in that
In
base
hex.
stake.
It's in terms
but
of hex.
it's being overpriced. Like so,
Yep.
you're getting less value if you're getting that if it's in premium, right?
Actually,
Yeah, so if you were to sell your base, you'd get 4 hex per
But
base.
That's what I'm saying.
if you press detailed view, it gives some pretty interesting stats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, looking at the chart, you know, priced in hex against base on Dex Screener, it's only showing 1.08. So I reckon there's some errors going on because even the Look into Maxi website,
So-
Lucky is like $0 at the moment. Like it doesn't
Okay.
even have a price. So
Okay.
I think. Sorry to interrupt. The way I read this is, and I haven't looked at this much, but just my understanding is like the base stake itself has it. You know, it should be backed at this point in its, depending on its size and its duration, it should be 1.05 hex, and so that would be at 0%. But it's being priced at the moment as if it's got 5.9
Hex
per hex.
per
Yeah,
base.
hex per base. Yeah, so it's like it's overpriced is what that tells me. So that's why you want to be looking for the ones that are in discount, that they're being
No, but what
priced
the point I'm
lower.
the point, yeah, I understand what
what
you're
the
saying. I'm talking
actual-
about selling your base back into hex.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Because you're
At this
getting
point,
more-
Yes,
Because
It's
you're
that-
getting much more hex out of that than, but if there's no liquidity, then it's
Yes.
not going to work. But you're getting much
Yeah,
more
I see
hex
what you're
out of
saying.
that than you'll ever get by just seeing the stake out.
100% correct. Yes. So you're better off, selling your base for hex now when it's at a premium. Because I see what you're saying, and I definitely agree. But depending on the liquidity, because I think now that we've got the 9mm V3 concentrated liquidity, it's a lot better. But this was always my concern with these perpetuals, was that when I used to try and buy Maxi and Deci and this sort of stuff, you would eat a lot of slippage because the liquidity was low. I think now with 9mm, it's quite a bit better. But you're right. If you've got base, and probably people will, it's probably a good time to sell when it's at such a high premium.
That's premium's wrong. It's nowhere near 400%.
Oh, is
So-
it? Okay, so this stat's just wrong.
Yeah,
Oh,
So
I
one
think-
hex on Ethereum is 0.0018 and one
what
base
dex
is
aggregator are you?
0.021.
What dex aggregator are you on?
On potatoes.
No, you'd have to be on an Ethereum one. You'd have to be on.
I was just using
Oh.
Xtreme, just looking at
1
the
inch.
price.
no, you
You'd
can
have
do
to know
the,
the 1 inch or
you can do the
something.
E version on Potaeus.
Is there?
That's where all
You
the
know what?
trading.
Maybe
All
maybe
the
that-
trading, all the trading of all of the kind of icosahedron and hex. Well, not all, but you're going to get much better prices for those of the Ethereum chain versions on PulseChain using the wrapped things. There's more liquidity.
Yeah. So that's like eBase, is it? I haven't even looked into this.
You have
man.
to
It's
put the
so
contract address in.
I'd have to get the contract address.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
so. Maybe it's a
Doesn't make me
glitch on the
It
Hex
doesn't
Scout
make me work.
website.
I'll put it in the. Oh, you'll get it, but it's in
It
the
must
private.
be a glitch because there's no
Must
way
be.
it's 400. There's no way it's 400%.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll have a look in the other thing. The other thing I was going to talk about is I remembered it was Blockblend that do that prepaid crypto debit card thing, whether they've actually started it up or not. But you know, in Bluey, when you were talking about
Allow,
skip cards,
yeah.
and I was like, I couldn't quite remember the name, but it was Blockblend that do it. Haven't checked it out though, so I don't know if it's any
That
good.
would be awesome.
But just while
you
I
get your
remember,
Flowery residency, and then you use that with Blockblend.
Yeah. Let me have a look in the chat and see what is up. Actually, do you guys want to say hello to the chat, and I'll see if I can pull up this contract address.
Hello, chat.
Hello, Chad. Yeah.
All right then. Hello,
Um,
Governor. You just went British all of a
Actually,
sudden.
talking about those perpetuals. Dipcatcher and Goldkey are doing really interesting stuff with Gophers. They launched Gophers which is a meme coin. It's liquid JPEGs on PulseChain. It's just a normal meme coin with no JPEGs on Ethereum, I'm pretty sure. And on Sol, it's just, it's also the same. It's just a meme coin. And they launched on DGen chain as well. I don't know a lot about that. I don't know a lot about that, but yeah, that's another one. But they've got plans to come out with all sorts of really interesting stuff. Like they're already bringing staking on Sol, Gophers. But what I found really interesting was what they're planning to launch is this auction house for NFTs. And it's a really interesting structure because what you do is you put up what you want to sell, and you put up the minimum amount that you want for it, and then you say, and then you give a percentage split for every bit above. So let's say you say 50-50. That means that if somebody comes in and makes a bid above that, 50% of that bid goes to the person selling, and 50% goes to the previous person. And then if somebody comes over the top of that, 50% of that bid goes to that previous person. So it's kind of like incentivizing people to bid. And you can also say like how long you want it to go on for, and then how long you want extensions. Like if there's a bid within the last 5 minutes, then you can have an extension. If there's a bid within the last hour, there's a day extension or whatever it is. I'm not exactly sure. But it's a really interesting auction system because it really incentivizes people to put stuff up and to bid. And as somebody who's putting stuff up, like you could also say, I'm only getting 10% of all of the bids above my lower base, and people bidding get 90%. So then people are just highly incentivized to bid for it, hoping that somebody else comes in above them. And so they get their money back, plus they get 90% of whatever the markup was of that next bid. Wow. And that's all decentralized.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Look, I think some of that stuff is interesting. You know, credit to Deepcatcher and the guys doing it on Sol, doing it on that DGen chain or whatever that is as well. They're cooking. I mean, I don't know. These guys always seem to be doing stuff.
They are absolutely very active and
very active. It's great to have them builders like that on PulseChain. And I like. I did have a thought about that that DGen chain, because I was wondering at one point, will we see a layer 2 on PulseChain? And obviously there's no need to do it at this point because the gas fees are super low on PulseChain and they just wouldn't see any need for it. But I do like the way that this DGen chain used this L3 idea where they took their token, DGen or whatever it was, on base, and they used that as the gas fee, as the gas token for the layer 3. So say, for example, so this was my idea, where it's like, if, you know, someone did a layer 2, or maybe you can just skip to that section where, say, for example, Tangang used HOA as the gas token for that chain. And then if people wanted to get a certain meme coin or whatever, Tangang, there's a whole bunch of Tangang meme coins or whatever, then they go on that chain, but they have to go through Pulse, and then you have to buy HOA because you've got to use it as gas on that, that other layer.
Yeah.
And then so it can bring adoption to the intermediate layer. I mean, it's still a layer 1 like Pulse, but yeah, people have to go to Pulse, bridge to that to get to like a Tang chain or whatever. But you could do it with anything, right? Like you could literally do an Atropa chain, and you could make Atropa the gas for whatever, you know. So not that I'm going to do this, but I can see the potential for people to do that. Like now that it's genie's out of the box.
Well, you know, that's what Zen have kind of are doing and have done as well. But they've got Zen on all of these different chains, and that's going to be able to be burnt for their X1 chain.
Well, I like that idea. I like that because otherwise, yeah, because some of these chains that they've got it on, it doesn't seem to be worth anything. So, but if it can be exchanged, but then would they exchange it 1-to-1, or would they exchange it like whatever the cost?
Well, on Zen they're going to have. Well, first of all, anyone who's burnt any Zen automatically gets some sort of allocation. They haven't come out with the metrics for it yet. But also what they're going to do is they're going to have moon parties. And so these moon parties can happen on the full moon, like, and what's going to happen, it's going to be like a bucket, like similar to what the Hex at the start was, where people, there's a certain amount of XN, but if people put all of their Zen in to get an allocation of that XN for that moon party. Yeah. And they're going to have that every 30 days. And it could potentially go on forever.
I'm a bit I want to see this X1 chain before I start speculating.
I mean, you can check it out now.
Testnet?
Yeah.
Testnet. Yeah. But like I'm talking about mainnet because I talked about this last week with Coast, and True Blue assured me that Coast would be back online imminently. I think was the word. And I said, 2 more weeks, was it? And I said, look, I've got 2 more weeks fatigue. So and it turns out, believe it or not, that Coast are not quite ready.
But they're doing something so difficult because they're dealing with the banking system. And that's
full credit to the Coast guys. I love what they do. I think it's great and everything. But I just
what's your comparison
to do it and then tell me
between X1 and what Coast?
My comparison is wait till it's done and then tell me about that. I don't want to know about it like every week that it's
problems, because any agreements they have, then the government might just come in and say, no, you can't do that. So, and because they're trying to link to the system, it's a completely different.
Oh no, it's only similar.
So that's interesting,
right? Not wanting to wait.
This is interesting because you guys are like discussing this stuff that hasn't happened yet. Meanwhile, I was watching Adam Stokes' channel the other night, and he was talking to a broker, a crypto broker, that you just ring them, set up an account, and then just send them the money.
Yeah,
like from your bank account to their bank account, and you have to KYC obviously with them because but they just send you the crypto. They just send you the crypto, man. It's like you call them on the phone, just say, get me the what's your rate on BTC? What's your rate on Hex? What's your rate on PulseChain? And then they just send it to you.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that, but I suspect that they would be skimming. They would be putting a premium on everything.
Well, when you say skimming, they're taking a commission like anyone is, bro. Yeah, no one's giving you a service. What? Well, they actually hang on a second. Wait. They actually say that they won't be beaten on price. And I'm not like I don't get any money out of it, but I think we shouldn't poo-poo that idea. That's a legitimate onboarding tool for most regular people. Let's not forget that. Most regular people are going to be like, I'll call a broker and get crypto. But if you tell them to go A, B, C, D into all this other BS, they're not going to fucking do it. So that's the most legitimate way you can get someone in. If you
my concern is that that's an out
middleman. It's middleman.
Yeah,
it's all middleman.
Yeah,
but it's fine. So is Coast. So is everything. It's all middleman.
Yeah, I know, but I don't see how it's
onboarding is middleman.
Anyway, how is that innovative in any way? I don't see what your point is. Like, how is that innovative?
I'm saying to get someone in, that's the easiest way. That's the innovation is just fucking easy, mate. You know, if you've got,
but what are the fees? It comes down to fees, right? Because if it's an innovation and it's 0.03% fees, then that's great. If it's innovation and it's 10% fees,
well, he said, I heard him say that they won't be beaten on things. So,
well, then that's the outrageous claim, or sorry, not outrageous claim. That's the claim. So then now you need to provide extraordinary evidence to back the claim, because that
I wouldn't say that's an extraordinary.
Well, how could it beat the market price? How could it possibly beat the market price? Like, if they claim they can do better than the market price, show me.
Maybe they've got whales. Maybe they've got whales.
Well, that's okay.
Maybe they've got whales backing them. Think of it this way, right?
Maybe they've got RH's DeLorean, and it goes back in time to when it's.
Let me tell you how they could beat it potentially. If you sell on chain. Right? If you sell on chain, you are pushing the price against yourself. If you buy on chain, you're pushing the price against yourself. If you buy from a broker who has someone sitting here, OTC, who will send you the thing, and they're doing like an OTC deal, they can potentially give you a better price. So when we say like, what's the good thing about? There's nothing like actually that good about it, apart from the ease of use for just your everyday mum and dad, everyday person
and
who you want to onboard that doesn't want to deal with the other BS. You got plenty of time later to teach people about why it's good to self-custody and do all the other stuff, and you can use DEXs and do all that. But if you just want to get someone onboarded into PulseChain,
then you're probably prepared to pay a premium for that service anyway. That's the
I don't even know if there's
like,
a premium.
It wouldn't.
I'm like, I don't even know what the name of this. I've got to look up the name. Hang on.
It's called Stormrake.
What's it called?
Stormrake. STORM.
True Blue's on it, man.
He's working
sorry,
in the background.
Bluey. Speaking of being innovative, so their pinned tweet says, "We're delighted to announce that Stormrake has been recognised as the most innovative crypto brokerage firm in 2023."
Slam dunk.
Sorry, that was a good one.
There's your innovation right there. Bam.
Hang on.
Look, I mean, it sounds good. But show me the numbers. Like,
how is the question I have how is this any less innovative than Coast?
Yeah.
Please tell me. That's a middleman. How is it less innovative? Please tell me.
Yeah, as an on-ramp, as an on-ramp. But as long as they're not storing your crypto, that they're sending it to your address. Right?
It can't scale as much as Coast could potentially. Like they can.
Dude, we're getting wet before it rains here. Let's get some people onboarded and then worry about scaling.
Let me know in the chat
later.
if you're wet in the chat. Let me know.
Like we just need. We're just talking about Australia.
It's not a choice. If you have both avenues, you have as many avenues as possible.
Have as many. But
more on ramps is better. I'm a fan.
I think that
as long as they don't custody your. Just to clarify, they're not custodying your crypto, right?
I believe you
can.
You just get it because they can, but you can ask for it sent to your address.
Yeah, assuming you get it sent to your own hardware wallet address, then I think it's
you
good.
Can, as far as I understand. If they don't, then don't do it.
Not if they're going to be managing it. Like if you want them to manage it, they're going to have control of it.
Yeah.
Some people,
how are they supposed to
want that? We don't want that. None of us here want that.
Good point, Blue Bum. Good point. How are they supposed to do these trades unless they store your crypto in their exchange or whatever? And they're making the trades for you.
You want to buy. You want to buy like they don't deal with small amount. Like if you go there with $500, they don't want to know about you. But if you go there with like $5,000, $10,000, $100,000, $500,000, and say, I want to buy PulseChain, they will execute that trade for you. And as far as I understand, they'll send you the thing. That's for most people, for your average person who doesn't know about crypto and wants to get into crypto, that is that makes sense to them more than anything else.
Yeah, but you can't. That's fine. That's fine if this person is trustworthy. But as soon as if this becomes popular and you have many other people popping up, you're going to get people are going to get rugged.
Well, people are getting rinsed.
They're regulated in Australia.
Yeah.
Well, then you're back to the whole banking system.
We never.
We'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it. I think
into crypto. This is no different from an exchange. It's no fucking. When you send money to an exchange,
what do you do with exchanges? You go in and out. You don't stay on them. That's the whole point.
But that's what you do with this guy as well. You just send them the money, and then you say,
"Well, then you're just paying for something that's not very difficult to do." But for some people, they'll do that absolutely, and that's better for them. But
that's the argument for exchanges as well, right? Like that's it's the necessary evil to get people that are new.
It's going to cost more to do this.
Of course it is. They're going to have to. They have to make money.
Can I tell you something? Every experience I've ever had with brokers has always been cheaper than going directly to a company and saying swap this shit for or I want to get this service, I want to get this insurance, I want to get this or that. When I go to a broker, it's always cheaper because the brokers get better rates. Always fucking cheaper.
Which is exactly what you don't want with the whole crypto thing. Like because it's all fucking backward.
What's the problem with I don't see what the problem is, dude. It's the same as an exchange. I don't see what the fucking problem is.
All right, I
Like
just
you're
saw
going,
on
you're
that-
being
on that,
antagonistic, like anti this service.
No, I'm not
Just
anti
because-
it. It's like it's a business. It's just
Yeah,
unnecessary.
business,
Look,
that's
we'll-
exactly
we'll
the
wait and
same
see-
setup as an
wait and see
exchange,
how
right?
it-
With an exchange,
we-
you send your money to the exchange. The bank account they've got a bank account, an exchange bank account. You send your money from your bank account to the exchange bank account. It's the same shit. You send your money from your bank account to the Coast bank account. It's the same shit,
Yeah,
right?
but
It's
trust
exactly the
trust is
same shit,
earned
man.
though. Trust is earned. Like, so I would have to wait and see for a bit for these guys. But in theory, I think it's good, and I think if they produce the mass that backs up the claims, then and we can see, you know, give it a bit of time, because that's the whole thing as well. One thing I noticed is that they were talking about the halving is near. I don't know if you saw that. I was just laughing about that in the background.
Yeah.
It is imminent, guys. Like, I don't know if you guys are like
For like a week or something, huh?
7 days, 19 hours.
There we go.
So that's the halving countdown. So like, I think that's really interesting that, you know, we're seeing a bit of a global sort of market, crypto market crash at the moment. I wonder, what do you guys think about that in terms of BTC halving, you know, the reward for the blocks going down to whatever it is, 3.75 or something, getting halved. So does that mean, because a lot of people kind of come out and say, oh, well, then the supply is getting halved, so therefore the price should go up. But like 90% of the Bitcoin has already been mined, right? So just because the reward to miners gets halved, that might make it less profitable for miners. So in theory, the price should go up, and that's what's happened, like historically over long time frames.
In
But
theory,
what do you guys think?
in
will
theory, it's
happen?
already priced in, which is
Yeah, so
you've known it,
priced
and
in.
like
That's my favorite.
it's funny
favorite
the
thing.
Bitcoin, because it's like people want to give like a cause for these effects, but in the end, you don't really know what the causes are, because it's across so many people, across so many different motivations and narratives. Maybe it's this Bitcoin halving. Maybe it's because it's happened 3 times in a row, and so it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. Maybe it's this liquidity thing that people talk about. Maybe it's the American election cycle. I mean,
Yes, that just reminded me of something as well, just before I forget, because it's relatively important. Apparently, GoPulse now, you can use as a block explorer. You can put in transaction hashes, and so and I think if you put in wallets, it says wallet, you know, functionality coming, and it's also got some liquidity
thing. That publish.
Yeah,
function.
it's got the publish thing as well. I probably shouldn't have interrupted you. Sorry, man. But I just thought, oh, the fact that you got that block explorer is pretty awesome.
Someone put I think someone put Survive on PulseChain.
That's killer.
Yeah. Well, so you can, to clarify this, so this is so you can actually upload, you know, actual images, say from books and things like that onto.
Is that like a link? Is that like an NFT thing where it's like it's actually on a server somewhere, and what they're putting on the blockchain is just a link to it?
No, it's the actual file. They break up the file, kind of like a BitTorrent thing, and then you can pull it from the blocks and actually view it. But you need to know the transaction hash. But so GoPulse has got a couple of upgrades. Like, it's got this transaction hash thing where you can, like a block explorer, and I think soon to be, you know, like be able to search through wallets as well. It's got the publish thing where you can publish stuff, and it's also got some liquidity thing that I was playing with the other day, where like you can put in a coin and then you could look at the liquidity. Anyway, it's got some cool shit. But just I didn't want to derail your thing too much. I think I did.
So how much does it cost? How much does it cost if I wanted to put a book up on PulseChain?
I think the fees are super cheap, right? Like, so it's
like $1 or something. Right?
Yeah.
And like, how is it possible? Is it easy for lay people to do that at the moment?
It seems pretty easy. I haven't done it myself,
Is there
but
a front end to use for it, or how do you go about doing it?
so you just literally go gopulse.com, go to apps, publish. It says store immortal documents on chain. Mainnet, choose a file, connect a wallet. Seems pretty easy.
Well, that's also great for censorship stuff where they're trying to scrub the internet of certain things.
Yeah.
Like Wayback Machine, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you can store this stuff, you know, on the blockchain. So it's literally there for as long as there's validators, which is pretty much forever. So
I mean, how long is it going to be until when we're text messaging, it's all going to be via this kind of stuff? You know, so that we know that it's all encrypted, and that we know that it's not it's hidden from people who don't want to see it because it's because of the encryption, and your accounts are not, they can't take them down.
Yeah, it's a real sort of censorship resistant way of publishing information. Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah.
And then this is the liquidity stuff. So you can just type in a coin, and then it looks like it profiles all the different liquidity, tells you which DEX has the top liquidity. So that kind of comes in handy as well when sometimes you think, you know, for a contract address, you think, oh, which pool is the one? You can just type it into GoPulse now. Because I think True Blue and I were talking about that last week. Sometimes when you're looking for a token on Dex Screener, and it's like if you're in the wrong pool, and you know you could be charting a pool that has the wrong price because it's just been priced, you know, incorrectly, and then you can, if you really make mistakes, you can actually go to buy from that pool and get rugs. So you've got to be careful that you're using the pool with the most liquidity for order execution.
Yeah, you always want to check on something like on an aggregator like Pateus. What actual price can I get right now if I swap
just a sanity check? Yeah. Sometimes I do that too. I look at the top pool, I look at it on Pateus, I look at it on PulseX, and I just go, okay, this is the best path. I just wanted to also bring up shout out to Matty Allen. What's up? I really enjoyed his streams the other day. He had a couple of good ones, and I was driving around listening to it. So yeah, check out Matty Allen. And he's got the PulseChain conference coming up in May. So that's exciting as well. Hopefully everyone can get on board and say hello. Jexa had a stream the other day. That's a good point. And he was shilling, like or not shilling, but like saying how you could onboard like your grandma or something like that, like a real basic way of getting people in.
I think it was that same thing.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I just saw
the guy.
It's the same. It's like this guy was on Adam Stokes, and I think a lot of you guys would agree Adam Stokes is a pretty ethical dude, like in the crypto space, and he doesn't sort of promote anything that's, you know, dodgy.
Hang on, so it's the same person or same company or that
same company?
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'll have to watch it. I haven't seen that one. So, shout out free speech, large amounts of fees might be good to save. The more you buy, the sex the fees get higher. I noticed. Yeah, true. And the problem, sexes, like centralized exchanges, I mean, apart from just the chance that they can go down, Kraken got sued the other day. You know, you can just literally, like, it's the middleman scum can basically just take your coins if they want. And that's what Blue was saying about treat them as public bathrooms. You get in, get out, get, you know, on board, on ramp, off ramp.
Yeah. Tell them you want it sent to an address immediately. You just say, I want this trade.
That's the way
send
to do
it to this address immediately. Like, I just want it here immediately. It's PulseChain. As soon as you get it, you should be like, I want to know a time frame. You know, they might say, we're gonna get to that in the next day or half a day. They might, you know, do it that way.
And the other thing that I've noticed with centralized exchanges is that you got to be really careful of is that they will suspend withdrawals. So for people who haven't necessarily been around in massive, like, hyper phases of the bull, if you think that you can just go onto your exchange and sell when everything is either pumping or dumping, you'll get a little notice that comes up and it says, oh, there's been an intermittent failure and unforeseen events. Binance has suspended withdrawals. And you're like, no shit. Like, and it happened like clockwork.
Yeah.
So,
and on the Ethereum side, the gas will be going through the roof whenever there's
and all of your transactions start failing.
On behind that, Dozer? Why do you what's the mechanics of that?
Oh, I just think that they're corrupt. This was my thing I was saying the other day that like benefit?
Like I'm interested
if there's like
if they're corrupt.
Well, the way I sort of see it is, it's either incompetence or corruption or both. But yeah, if you're going onto their exchange that you're paying a service, you're paying a fee for that service, and you can't actually sell your stuff, and then it's going down, I suspect that they're doing trades behind the scenes.
Yeah,
and then that they're not letting you access they're doing it for profit. Like
it's just
they might not even have the coins to sell.
It happens.
They might do they might do a sale, right, to front run your sale, and then they sell you the coins at a lower. How does that work?
Well, there's
if
also
it's going up. Yeah, they might buy it, front run it, and then they sell it to you at a higher rate, and then and vice versa. Maybe they short it, and then they make some profit, and then they sell it to you, or they let you execute your sell at a lower price.
Well, that's the thing.
It's basically just manipulation, I think.
People have all of these longs and shorts, and they can see all of those, so they can
see them
people out basically.
Exactly.
So, a way around
the curtain, man. They're just literally going, oh, look, we can, and they have algorithms that would just optimize it, right?
Yeah. A way around that for people would be to get out of whatever crypto you're in and go into a stable, and then move the stable to the exchange, because they've got there's nothing they're going to be able to do with long and shorts with the stable, and then you just sell the stable on, and there'll be like a rate, and you'll be able to see the dollar rate against the stable.
To go back to fiat, you mean, or to mean
you're saying withdrawals, right?
So they were saying like you wouldn't be able to basically spend your crypto in any way. Like you wouldn't be able to even send it off like from your wallet to another wallet.
So hang on, you're talking about like you've bought Ethereum or something on the exchange, and then you want to take it off to your own wallet. Okay, that makes sense, because they will sell you crypto they don't actually have. They will sell you crypto they don't actually have, and then if the price doesn't go in their favor, you might have to wait for them to get their hands on it. I
just reckon it's highly manipulated on centralized exchanges, and you may not notice it until real sort of
you need to do it
hyper volatility, and then when you really need to or really want to, that's when you notice that you can't.
But that's why a broker is better in that situation, because a broker broker will be better.
Problem,
they might have the same.
But that's my point. That's their problem. They give you like a quote, and then that's the quote that they've given you.
Yeah, but then they might come back like, I couldn't get the market price because of this, and this.
But that's just, dude, that's an unprofessional person. So if someone's unprofessional, like I've never had that with a broker ever.
They're not magicians.
Like I've never had that with a full broker. Like
they're not magicians.
That would be good though.
They're going to the same places.
I agree with you, but they do have like their way of getting their hands on crypto. They've got like their methods. So they're not necessarily going to a DEX and getting it for you. They might have like OTC dudes who are happy to sell, at OTC prices,
Yeah.
That's why I think there needs more transparency.
I wouldn't rely on a broker though, like that kind of stuff necessarily. Like,
I think for onboarding, that stuff is fine, man. Sorry,
go ahead, Trib. We're talking over you, bro.
Sorry, I got a delay or something. They're on a much higher tier with these, centralized exchanges, or they might have bags of their own, or the cash behind them in the bank type thing. If you're selling, they might, their fees are a lot lower and all that as well, and they're probably able to push things through easier with exchanges. They can just call them up and say, we need to push this through. I don't know, but given the flow and the amount of money they would deal with, they're not on pleb accounts. They've probably got a lot more strings to pull. But just quickly, the last thing about it might be the last thing about the brokers and that. But on the Coast thing, apparently True USD on Ethereum is having the same issues as Coast at the moment. So
Oh, so
because
Coast is like
they've got that same
depegged. The stablecoin depegged, isn't
Coast,
it? Like
yeah,
CST?
Coast is depegged, but I'm talking more about the bank affiliation and stuff like that.
How's it depegged?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I saw it earlier today.
I think it was
It's like
83.
93 cents.
Yeah.
Oh, 85.
Yeah.
I think it came down to about that. Yeah.
One moment, please.
Sorry,
Gonna buy some
TGIF.
Coast.
Well,
I
listen,
can
it's
see it.
the OX guys to kind of to rectify this. That's a great deal at the moment.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's called, I think I butchered this the other week. I think it's called a mean reversion. I think I called it something else, but a mean reversion where you assume that it's going to go back to like peg to $1. Here it is here.
Yeah, it's
Holy
dropped
crap. It went down to 79 cents.
It's just
So-
that that they've had so many times where they said, yeah, we've had all this in place, and then something hasn't worked out, and then they've had it all up, and then something hasn't worked out, and then they thought they had some other contingencies and stuff like that, but now they're going to have to go back and find some other ones as well, and it's just happened a number of times in a row. So I think people lost confidence.
Yeah, it's the 2 more weeks thing, man. It's like people get another another 2 weeks, and then but the mean reversion is
they're doing one of the hardest things you could do, is like at the moment.
Yeah, so that's
environment.
True USD is having similar issues with the banking partners, just like Coast. So it's not Coast only one type thing where it's a battle everyone's facing that's trying to deal with the original sort of banking systems. So
but yeah, if you've got a big bag and you trust that CST is going to repeg, you can make 20% on this mean reversion trade if you've got big brass balls. But it could go the other way, or you might have to wait a while for it to go back up. But yeah, that is interesting. And there's quite a few. See, I think with this stuff, because there's the Power City PX USD or whatever, you really need that redemption process in place. Like say with the liquid loans, is a USDL. You need to be able to redeem. That's what keeps it pegged. Because that's the whole point, is that it's has to be redeemed, and so those redemptions are what keeps a healthy ecosystem. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Maybe Stoic or whoever else might be able to tell us what's up, why that's depegging so much. The other thing that's been going on here is, did you guys see this 9-inch DCA tool that they've got, the inch by inch?
Yeah.
I'll say it without laughing.
I've heard about it, but I haven't looked into it myself.
So this is pretty cool. So it looks like if you wanted to, let's switch this around. If you wanted to buy Pulse over, I don't know, 20 orders every day, well, let's make it 31 days. So for a month, every day for a month, you could literally, and it looks like you can put in pricing strategies as well. It's just an automated DCA. I don't know. Could be interesting.
Very cool.
They've also got the limit orders as well. It would depend on the liquidity in the pools that you're in, because you might be better off using the Tetra limit orders, because I know that they route through PulseX.
Yeah.
Despite their site being blindingly bright, you can do limit orders. I think this routes through PulseX, whereas maybe the 9-inch limit orders might just be through the 9-inch pools. But yeah, anyway, that DCA feature seemed pretty cool.
Did you have you guys heard about this Ethereum upgrade that's coming through? I think it's EIP 3074.
Oh, maybe not. No, I saw that.
It's the ability. It's potentially going to. It's going to be, and I'm just reading off someone's Twitter, The TLDR is of 3074 is that it gives EOAs, which is normal wallets, smart contract capabilities like account abstraction. This includes the ability to do single transaction approvals, batch transactions, wallet asset recovery, sponsored transactions, and more. It means you can pay for a transaction on one account from another account.
Oh, that'd be great.
So, but that's like, can you imagine an upgrade like that? And that's being native, and it would give new, like you'd have to. It wouldn't be the existing wallets that you have, but there would be new wallets. The new wallets would have these upgraded features like smart contract capabilities.
So you could give a permission to the smart contract to say, like if you sign a transaction, and then it could, if like say, I think if you got like a gaming transaction or something like that, where you start the session and then you could, like every time you want to buy an in-game purchase or whatever, it's authorized it to do a spend.
Perhaps I'm not an expert on it. I just read that tweet, but one thing it could do, like an example of something that you could do, is approve and trade a swap. How dare people call me?
To trade? Yeah, you're a busy guy.
So approve
a trade.
Like if you're swapping, like you could approve the swap and do this, like approve it and swap it in the one transaction.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I have heard about that in past Alchemy and stuff like that. They were talking about that sort of stuff. I didn't know they were implementing it.
I think it's just they've just been approved for something. So I don't know. I don't know if they need to. Yeah, so maybe they need to do it on testnet or something.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm not sure.
Well, I noticed the validators were updating. HODLdog, shout out to HODLdog, he's a legend, and a few of the other validator crew were talking about updating their clients and things like that. I just briefly saw it, so I'm not sure if they were upgrading because of the Denkun upgrade.
I'll read this part. It says EIP 3074 was just approved to go live in the next Ethereum hard fork. This EIP will forever change how users interact on EVM chains, making wallet UX simpler, cheaper, and more powerful. And then he goes on to give an overview. But obviously, anything like that that's on Ethereum, there's the potential that PulseChain rolls it in as well. So you know, we on PulseChain can benefit from that, which is fantastic.
Awesome. That's wicked. Yeah, that's one of the beauties of it as well. And that's what I was saying about that Denkun upgrade. I think it's going to be implemented. I mean, there's not much point for us in terms of, we don't have any L2s like the blob space, blob data. But I think it will be implemented so that we can keep up with Ethereum and then enjoy all of their upgrades as well. So that's awesome. Yep. Cool, man. I hadn't heard about that, so thanks for that.
Hey,
I was going to ask.
Okay. So
go ahead, Bluey.
I noticed Tom's in the chat, Mr. Gillespie. Just wanted to say hi and get the G'day token. I think has had a few nice pumps of recently, which is a meme coin on PulseChain.
Yeah. G'day, Tom. How you going, mate?
What's up, Mr. Gillespie?
Let's see if I can find it. There's actually quite a few things here I'll have to go through. Where is he? Oh, down the bottom. 9 out of 10 TGNs agree and having a g'day. Yep, that sounds about right. Crypto King, what's up? How you going, mate?
He was hoping he hadn't missed playing the song yet.
Okay.
We've already played it.
We played it at the start. Oh, VTX. Just woke up in the middle of the night. He thought he'd say hello. What a champion.
Hey, man.
It's probably really late over there. Or maybe he's just up. He's
what does VTX stand for?
Oh, good question. We had him on. I never asked him.
Something transaction.
It's a good name though.
Velocity transaction.
VTX. It's like, sounds like he's he's doing stuff. I was going to ask, have you guys heard about Tangent wallets? Like the hardware wallets have now integrated PulseChain and Hex, I believe.
You've got to be
I
careful
haven't
with these new hardware wallets. Like you really want
really
to have time in the market to.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. Fair call.
Yeah. Like.
I mean,
Is it a software? Is it a software wallet or a hardware wallet?
No. These guys are. I mean, I've heard of them. I never use them. I'm sort of use Trezor and that sort of stuff, but they seem like another.
Oh, it's with the phone, yeah.
This one looks like a credit card.
It's hard, yeah.
It's like an NFC.
Oh, it's got a chip
to your phone, but then you need to be doing your trades on your phone, right?
I gotcha. Right? Don't know, man. Don't know. I was asking you guys. I haven't seen it. This is the Tangent chip.
I'm making it up on the spot, man.
Yeah. Well, if anyone knows, if they've had any experience with them,
on stream.
If you think they're shit, just let us know. Just say, nah, they're terrible. They're rubbish. But if you think that they're good and they're legit, let us know as well, because I just like the fact
KDP,
that they've embraced.
I think KDP and Corey Costa have interviewed them. And look, they seem quite legit. But you know, obviously,
well, the more people using PulseChain network, the better, right? Like, hopefully, it doesn't go south. But so far, so good. Apparently, VTX Crypto, and check him out on subscribe on YouTube because he's an absolute legend. Value, teamwork, and excellence.
Or Virgin Texas.
Virgin Texas. Oh, that's rough, but funny. That's good. Oh, Ivan likes it, apparently. There you go. Although that isn't the fact that I'm like, ooh, is a appeal to authority bias, where it's like, you know, just because he's, although you would hope that someone like Ivan wouldn't be talking about you know, Tangent wallets if they were dodgy. So maybe it is a good endorsement. Is there anything else in the chat that I missed? Yeah, the song, man. Sorry about that, but that was earlier. You can go back and check it out. Oh, Cypherpunk's manifesto is on PulseChain. Awesome.
And a big shout out to Free Speech. He's got a really good YouTube channel, and he's a really lovely guy. And he doesn't get too many viewers, so you know, maybe go and check out his YouTube.
Check
channel.
out Free Speech. Free Speech. Yep, for sure. He's always given, you know, some really good information out there, particularly about some of the legislation and stuff like that that's been happening. Retrostatic, the DCA 9-inch DCA tool is brilliant. I literally just checked that out 2 minutes ago, but I didn't see this message. But yeah, I think that was pretty cool. I like how you can put these transaction hashes in into that GoPulse thing, and you can just
read a book.
You know, it's like, you can just. I think it's pretty awesome. Like, it's pretty cool. So, and it also makes you wonder, like, where is the limit here? Like, as humans, you know, we like to do shit like this where you kind of go, what can I put on there? You know, what can I put some like 4K version of Lord of the Rings on there? Like, how many blocks is it going to take to, you know, it's just, what if I could use some sort of compression? You know, it could be one of those things where people just kind of go, oh, you know what you could do? But then the negative from that is, will it slow down the blocks?
Well, eventually, depending on how much people.
But then the gas price goes up, and then the price of Pulse goes up, right? Is that how that works?
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
So is that a good thing?
Well, look, at the moment, blockchains definitely have scaling issues. That's one of the big things to still solve.
It's that scaling trilemma thing about, the security aspect, and then the speed and the decentralization. Yeah, that's true. I mean, L2's always on the cards for PulseChain as well. Like, if we ever got, literally, you know, huge gas fees on PulseChain, which I can't imagine. Like, so, and it's also like one of those things where it's a problem I think we'd like to have, where, you know, the price of Pulse goes up 1,000x, and then now it costs too much to transact. It's like, yeah, but the price of Pulse went up 1,000x, right? So we're all rich as kings in this scenario. And then what's the downside again? So yeah, and then it's like just fork it again and just do the whole. We just
or layer twos or other chains and bridges to whatever. Like that's why we're seeing a Cambrian explosion of different chains at the moment.
Yeah, and particularly with that idea that you can do this L3 using the gas, using any token as a gas token.
Gas token, yeah.
That's interesting, because then people will be like, I'm just going to own chain, and then you can.
It's also really interesting because so many people like are used to, like with the .com boom, there was all of these companies, and then only a handful of them actually ended up being of any value. And people assume that it's going to be the same with cryptocurrencies, that all the value is just going to flow to a handful of tokens. But I don't necessarily think that's what's going to happen with crypto, because there's too much permissionlessness. And
that's interesting. Yeah, the fact that it's so permissionless is the fundamental sort of driving thing behind this. And it's also about the communities, right? Because anyone can spin up a chain, but you need the validators to support that chain, right? To validate the transactions. So you need to have an actual network of people around the world.
And to give it value, you know?
Yes, to actually, you need a community. I think that's what PulseChain has and the Hex community has in spades, is that we've got the actual community that can spin up their own nodes and actually support the network. I mean, it was bootstrapped at the start by RH and his devs, but now it's just completely community run. So yeah, I don't think anyone can do that. Well, anyone can do it, but whether that anyone can sustain it, I think is probably the hard thing. And keeping in mind as well that sort of the crypto total market cap and things like that is only in the trillions. Like when I say only, like when you compare it to other asset classes like real estate and stocks and things like that, it's relatively small. Like it could easily be a lot higher. So it's not like everyone is already participating in crypto. Like it's got a long way to go, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, even when you look at that total 2 and things like that, I was looking recently at the BTC halvings, and kind of I was trying to look up, you know, the time that it takes between halvings and the total 2 peak, and it's about 18 months. So if you look at previous cycles, I maybe would have to bring up a spreadsheet that I made up. But basically the last BTC like couple of halvings, so the 9th of July 2016 was the BTC halving, and the total 2 peak was the 5th of January 2018. So they have about 18 months between, you know, the BTC halving and the total 2 peak. And then from the 5th of March 2020 to the 10th of November 2021 is nearly exactly 18 months as well. So unfortunately, if you take the 19th of April as the halving for this year, 18 months for that puts the total 2 peak at about the 18th of October 2025. So that's like, you know, it's 18 months away.
But everyone's trying to front run it because everyone is very aware of these time cycles now. And so that's why maybe we've got
so maybe 12 months
left translated cycle. Like it's people are trying to front run it. And which means
entirely
that
possible.
we'll be getting out in the middle of 2025 or even earlier.
It could be 12 months to go. But isn't that interesting to think we've only got 12 months left? Like we've waited a long time. in this bear market, and accumulating and things like that. And I'm still doing it. Like, I'm still rotating shit coins into conviction bags, and I'm doing all this stuff. But to think that in 12 months it could be looking at the downside of another bear market, or 18 months, that kind of motivates me to actually think, I gotta get my shit together. I gotta make sure I've got everything lined up, and make sure I'm, eyes in, because even in the last week, that Solid X pump, man, like, you could have just slept through that whole thing. It's like, I think it's a good time to be locked in and to be paying attention to what's going on around us, because we're starting to see some stuff, get a little volatile. So 2 questions. Do you think that we'll see this cycle as being more of like a meme coin kind of cycle, or do you think that we'll see some sort of new tech that comes along that sort of blows us away? What do you think? What do you think, True Blue? What do you think, man?
I don't know. I think the meme coin thing is, obviously really, really caught on. But I reckon the ones that we all have conviction in will eventually shine, like all of the, the main sort of tokens. But at the moment, I think everyone's playing around, and all these meme coins are coming out to, almost take away your good crypto in a way.
Okay. So you think of it as, right, that's
in a way. I don't
potential.
I don't think it's as nefarious as that, but that I think that's what's happening with a lot of people. They're losing their bags to chasing
Really?
pumps. Yeah.
Oh wow. But, okay, maybe people go heavy into these meme coins. Is that what you're saying? Like,
well, I think people spread a lot between them. Do you know what it like? Go, spread to 10 or 20 meme coins. That's what some people would do.
Okay.
You'd really put your spread out, and then it's hard to get that back into your conviction sort of coins.
Rather than just trade one or something, or
yeah,
two. I think they're just scattergunning like a whole bunch, and then if they had just held that in a different asset, you think they would have been better off?
I'm not just talking, I guess some people would be doing it that way, but I'm definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say
yeah, go, please do. Yeah.
So I think that when Hex came out, it was revolutionary in its tokenomics, because it had basic tokenomics of, lock this up into the future. More people lock it up to get these yields. The price goes up because there's not as much on market.
Yeah, it's a good narrative. Yeah,
which was a great narrative. And then we saw a whole proliferation of other kind of supply tokenomics kind of stuff. And some of them got incredibly complex and complicated, to the point where they're very difficult for lay people to understand. And even for people who are right in them, it's very hard to determine how that value will actually play out over time, because even if you do have really good tokenomics, you still need like people to buy it. And I think what meme coins offer are the simplest tokenomics, in that people know you buy it for a price, and then you sell for more, and you make money. That's something that everybody understands in crypto, straight off the bat. Whereas when you start layering in all of these other kind of tokenomic stuff, although we love it and game people kind of love it,
yeah, game
the majority of people, it goes over their head, and they don't fully understand. Like, it just becomes a little bit too complex. Like, some of these things are ridiculously complex, especially when you have tokens on top of tokens. And so I think that what we're seeing now is that people just want to make money and are greedy. And so that's why they're just to all of these meme things. Now, in terms of what I think the next narratives will be, I think that the meme thing will have to die out, because there's going to be a few winners, but like tons of losers. And I think that, look, I think that the next narrative, or this next bull market narrative, I think there's a chance that it's going to be fair crypto, that it's going to be the narrative of fair crypto launches, and that's why I'm so kind of like into Zen at the moment, and I think that the other thing is going to be really good tech in terms of scaling, in terms of speed and reliability. And so I think
it's a hard one to know because there's a lot of memes or a lot of narratives that sort of rely on this is a fast chain or this is a cheap chain and things like that. But at what point does that blend into a meme itself? Whereas someone can just, and like, someone can say, oh, this is whatever it is, the one of the Tangang memes, whatever that they think is funny. That may or may not be funny. Compared to, like, say with this SolidX thing where it was just like, oh, there's this fire whale that is just buying his own bags and is just sending it, like that's a meme in itself, right? Like it's just a PRC20 that just has a narrative.
Yeah,
so
well, it's all narrative, but I think the user experience is going to be, is pretty fundamental to any kind of adoption.
Yeah.
Like we're seeing on Solana at the moment that, yeah, they have cheap fees, but like with their millions of users, or at the moment, they go, you can't get transactions through. And I sussed out Solana a little bit, and it's got a shit show. It looks fantastic. It looks really beautiful. Like they've got the graphics done well, but they've got a terrible user experience. You go to the Phantom wallet and there's the wrong price shows for what the tokens you have.
But MetaMask does that as well. Yeah. They have the wrong price for all the
and sometimes stuff. Sometimes even Rabby, like I can't get a price for Maximus Ethereum on my Rabby wallet. It just says 0, but I know it's not 0. I can go and look what it is on PulseChain. But so, there are definitely shortcomings, but for like the Solana experience is like not a good experience. And so I don't see it having legs unless they radically kind of fix up their tech.
Interesting. I like.
Can I just comment on something you said before?
Yeah,
you were talking about the left translated cycle maybe 3 or 4 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I think if you go back a couple of cycles, at least in BTC, after BTC has reached previous all-time highs, at like the rest of the bull market is like a year from there, like within a year.
Yes.
So
100%.
What you're saying about there being like potentially a year left of the bull market, I think that is probably a better indication. Like reaching previous all-time highs is a better indication than the halvening.
I see what you're saying, but I would have to push back slightly to say, have we really busted through the BTC all-time high? Because we did. We've touched it. We've fluffed it. I know we've touched it. Yeah,
but that's what I'm talking about.
It's not like we didn't bust through it. Like if you look at like in previous times when they went through the all-time high, it like smoked the all-time high. Like this time it's kind of touched it. It got rejected. It went above it again, faked out, and like at the moment we're just above it, but it could easily go below it and then easily come back up and actually truly bust through to like 85K.
You think that because it hasn't gone through it and continued,
has that year started yet? Yeah,
has that year started yet? So I'm saying
because it might take 6 months.
I'm saying just looking back, just touch, like getting to the all-time high, and then from there, a year later, it's all over. That's historically speaking. If we're just going to look at history.
I know what you're saying, but it's not exactly the same in this time, because when it touched it, like 10 days later, it just busted straight through it, like went through way past the previous all-time high. Whereas this time, it's as a percentage of its all-time high, it's pretty much still sitting at.
But wouldn't that be bearish for like how high it could go? Like, isn't that worse that it hasn't busted through? Like if it was going to get with everything that went on with the ETFs, shouldn't it have just busted through and just fucking hit?
Or it did a bit of a condom coin from last week, and it did a bit of a premature pump, and then it came down. So we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
I think that there's a year left. It's possible. It's very possible based on previous history. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't know. No one knows, but it's very
Could be,
possible.
man.
That's
Could be.
what's always happened in BTC over the last 15 years.
So somewhere, so we're kind of like splitting hairs as well, because I'm sort of saying 18 months, and then you're saying like maybe it's 12 months. But so I guess then the follow-up question is between 12 and 18 months from now, if that is the absolute top, which is, like I was saying, is actually a motivator for me to kind of think this is like last drinks, guys. Like, you know, if you want to be, you know, they're about to close the pub type thing, and then we're going to hope that retail are going to come in and buy the top. But then do you think that Hex and PulseChain will pump later than the BTC pump, or later than the total 2 peak? Because historically, like if you look at it, like, you know, you could argue that after the ETH topped out, that's when Hex started pumping last time.
I think in terms of the
that is possible.
Well, in terms of the PulseChain system, I think it's going to have more to do with Richard's court case.
Yeah, definitely.
Could be as well. Yeah. Which seems to be going well. And I kind of like the idea that his case is going to set precedence for the Uniswap case with the SEC. So now all of a sudden, people have got invested interests in the RH case that maybe didn't before, because they're going to be like, we really want Richard's case to go well. And then they can cite those wins in the case for their own case later on. That, it sets a precedent.
Their lawyers might use it, but they won't come out. You won't see Hayden Adams coming out and saying Richard Hart was right.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the lawyers in the SEC case with the Uniswap SEC case, I think.
But if they do, but if they do use it, we will Photoshop the fuck out of Hayden Adams wearing T-shirts saying RH was right. If, like, at the time of him using that precedent, like, we will just make sure. Knows.
Do it. They deserve everything they get.
There's too much of a cultural divide in his kind of like, so his group of friends compared to what Richard represents for them. And there's too much repressed sexuality and stuff like that. There's no way.
But lawyers don't care, man.
Stop. Rewind. What did you say?
Well, there's too much repressed sexuality. Like,
did you say repressed sexuality?
Yeah.
I want to see how you tie this together, man. I want to hear.
Well, Richard is basically incredibly open about his sexuality, and he's very much, you know, like, what do you call
flamboyant.
it? Like pilled or
flamboyant.
I don't know. Like, he pick out women and all of that kind of stuff, and that flies so against the culture of people of Hayden Adams' ilk who have gone through university and have been, you know, like inundated with all of this kind of wokeism, and, you know, they're donating to the Democrat Party. They're literally donating to the people who are trying to put them out of business. They're not the smartest. I mean, they're smart, very intelligent,
they're clever. They're not smart,
but they're not very self-aware. And I would say that they're probably incredibly sexually repressed.
I like how you've just read into this, like 10 levels deep.
They needed to get on the FTX wagon. They had.
It also comes down to sex, guys.
It
always comes back to sex. Come on, let's just be real.
On the FTX beanbag, you reckon?
On everything in life, sex is the great motivator of humanity.
Oh, the SBF beanbag. Oh, that would be
sex and food.
Blue light shit show. That would just be a mess.
Dude, food is also like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, mate. Just look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs and all of the things. I forget if it's at the top or the bottom of the pyramid. That's
I think we all know what number one is. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so their sexuality aside, or, you know, they're repressed, whatever. Maybe he's got repressed feelings towards RH. Gucci tracksuits maybe do it for him, and he can't reconcile with that.
There's somewhere deep inside Hayden Adams who wants to go out to Gucci and buy tons
Yeah,
of that.
yeah.
Like
He just
RH.
wants to just
And he
get one of those
reverses
money
that.
guns and just be
So then when
like,
he sees,
they
when he
had
sees RH do that,
confidence to
it
work.
triggers. Richard is such a trigger for them, like
Yeah,
at an
yeah.
emotional, spiritual level.
yeah.
For sure.
But I still
They just
think that
don't.
they
They
will
don't want him
cite.
to win. So when
I
he
still
wins,
think
it's
they will
even more
cite their
glorious.
case. Yeah, yeah. So I think deep down they actually want him to win now because the Uniswap lawyers will want to cite RH's case as a precedent. So I really think that they care more about that than anything else. And I liked just to go back a bit Finesse's call here, which I think is very true. Crypto people, most of the retards, they can't handle more than one ticker that'll pump for whatever reason. It's really the case of society, mostly retards. I think that's pretty funny. I think he's saying that, a bit tongue in cheek as well. But it reminded me of this meme here. Can I interest you in a multimedia market concept that hasn't been done properly before in crypto and might pump your bags for free? Are you doing a sacrifice or is it retarded? No, sorry, not interested. I just thought that was classic. It's like, that's just all of us just kind of going, oh, sacks are the worst. We've been so destroyed by sacrifices. Wait, what? Did you say you're doing a sacrifice? Is it retarded? You son of a bitch. I'm in. In saying that, I did sell my launch sack at a 40% profit. So that even though that one was a bit of a shit show and it was a small bag, I did end up making profit out of that last one. But I just thought, what am I doing? Just stop. Like,
yeah, that's it.
I don't
Did you
think
sell
I'm
your whole
really
bag for 40% profit?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think I had intentions of buying it back after it dumped because they had that failed launch, and then I just forgot about it. But
that's one of the hardest things, I think, is when you're in this whole meme world of just chasing pumps. It's what you do. What do you do after it pumps, and how much? Like, do you sell on a 3x? Do you sell on a 5x? Do you take 50% out on a 2x? Or like,
yeah, so as a general rule, like what I've done for myself is I love the 50-50 split. So if I get airdrops, I'll sell 50% and then I'll keep 50% as a moon bag. If I go into a lottery ticket and it does a 2x, I'll either take out the principal and then let the rest ride, or sometimes I'll take out 50% of that principal and then let the rest ride, depending on if I still think it's got legs. But yeah, you got to take your principal out, then you can worry about taking profits later. But just as a baseline, you want to at least take 50% of your principal out on some of these shit coins that pump. So chat's got a few things.
I've got another thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's interesting. I've been looking into. Well, first of all, Roger Vere's book has just come out, which goes into the whole block wars. And I haven't read the book yet, but I've seen some interviews with Roger, and it's interesting because when I came into crypto, it was right in the middle. Oh, you got it. And have you? So you've read it, hey? So what do you think so far?
No, I
just started. I think
I just got it.
Yeah.
So I'm just starting.
Yeah. So that's showing the level of manipulation that has happened in Bitcoin. And
okay.
And then there's another guy who's from there's one of the original guys from the Ethereum Foundation. He was a lawyer. His name escapes me right at the moment, but you can find his interviews. And he said some very interesting stuff. One of the things he said was like how much the team actually has. Like Joe Lubin sounds like a bit of a dodgy character, and he might have like he might be the OA of Ethereum. And another thing interesting he said was that the DAO hack was an inside job. For those who don't know, the DAO hack. DAO? There's at some point in Ethereum, like I think 2017,
there was
there was a DAO which was
poorly
basically
coded.
they rolled back the chain. That's where you got the split between.
This is the
It was a
classic.
poorly coded
yeah, I think.
contract.
Yep.
Poorly coded contract, and it was exploitable. Someone exploited it, so it wasn't
So he was
technically
saying
a
it's
hack.
inside job.
Well, it makes
Ah.
sense because if you
does.
knew, it makes sense because only an insider would know that it was poorly coded. Someone throwing their eyes over the code, just saying, "Oh yeah, it's fine. Yeah, deploy that shit."
And
then-
Joe Lubin and Vitalik really went after this guy, and the courts went after him, but he's defended himself successfully. And it really brings into question not only Joe Lubin, but also Vitalik and his how much he knew and what he knew, and like if he knew that the DAO hack was an insider job or not, and things like that.
I saw a very disturbing image of Vitalik as a woman, as a girl, as a young lady or whatever. When I say young lady, like a 20-year-old lady, very disturbing. I had to turn that shit off immediately.
Very disturbing because you attracted to it, or because
no comment.
Was it the Hello Kitty t-shirt that was the thing, or
yeah, we can move on.
Yeah. All right, let's move on real quick.
There's a bit of repressed sexuality for you there.
That's right. You've got a bit of Hayden Adams going on there. I do find that funny. How RH is always getting those purses and stuff, and it's like, yeah, cool, purse collection, yeah, cool. What? Like, oh, because he's like, come back to my house and let me show you my purse collection. It just sounds like a good line, and maybe women go for that. They're like, wait, what kind of purses have you got? A whole collection. Yeah, let's do it. And they get there and there's just like a sex swing and a sex chair and other sex furniture that I don't know about.
You know what, the more I think about it, the more that could possibly work.
Yeah, I think he's like the more you think about it, you go, why do you need a purse collection, bro? Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, I just wanted to bring this up real quick. UFC 300 is on this weekend.
Stacked.
I am seriously keen. So serious card. I reckon Pereira is going to be, that's going to be awesome. Potan, he's just an absolute weapon. Gaethje, I reckon, as much as I love Holloway, I think Gaethje's just going to be, he hits really hard. Oliveira is an absolute beast as well on the ground, like submission expert. Is it Chang or Zhang? I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it, but she is an absolute weapon as well. So
Zhang Wei.
Yeah, and Petroza. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I think it's Petroza. Yeah, he's wicked as well.
Oscar.
Yeah, and Holly Holm as well. She knocked out Ronda Rousey back in the day in that Sydney card.
I can't believe she's still fighting.
Yeah,
she's got to be a bit long in the tooth.
She's got to be close to 40, I think.
Yeah, but still, I don't want to get bloody roundhouse to the face by her. I think she's still a bit of a weapon.
That guy Lopez as well, that Brazilian dude who's fighting Yusuf, that's going to be an absolute banger. He's like incredible.
Yeah, man. There's there's some really good lineups. This is going to be awesome. Yeah, even Garderbrand, he just swings for the fences and stuff, and so they're like bantamweight or whatever, but they're pretty active. But the Pereira one, I think that's going to be sick. So anyway, I know Bluey's a fan as well. I know he loves it. I think that's But do you have any? What would you say, Bluey, if you had to just like maybe just this top, main card?
Yeah. Who am I picking?
You say, who are you picking?
I'm going to go for Hill over Pereira.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Maybe. I just think that Pereira is just such a weapon. Like he's
absolutely. But like there's a lot of footage on him now, and I think that Hill will probably have he knows about the left hook. He knows about the leg kicks, and I mean, let's see how well he's planned for them. You know,
and I mean, so Gaethje as well, because he kind of ended.
Yeah, Gaethje Holloway is such a good match, and
that could be a serious slugfest.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to probably give Gaethje a bit of favoritism there, but it could go the distance, this one. And if it goes the distance, I think Holloway could have
on points. Yeah, Holloway could be
a chance. I don't see Holloway knocking Gaethje out, but like
Gaethje does so much damage, man.
He does.
He hits so
They
hard,
both
man.
like to bang. They both like to bang, and I think that Gaethje's just does. He's just going to.
Yeah, but Holloway's never been knocked out. I mean, and see what like Volkanovski did to him.
There's any
what's
that?
Well,
I know it's never been knocked out, but the older you get, you know.
Yeah,
the more you've been
I mean, I just remember when there was, I think they had no crowds for the Spicy Cough around that time, and you could just hear when Gaethje was hitting like that slap sound, like it was like a real, and it's like it just sounded like real meaty slap sounds when he was hitting, and it was like, and people talk about him hitting hard, and it's like, oh god damn, like he's just a machine. And didn't he like pretty much end who Tony Ferguson? Do you remember when that might have been the Tony Ferguson fight actually?
That was his down. That was the start of the downfall of Tony Ferguson.
He pretty much ended his career with that. Yeah. That was like oof. And I mean, Holloway's had some real good bangers in that as well, but it must have taken its toll, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Anyway, and what do you do? You like Oliveira? He's pretty good.
Oliveira, look, I think that's such a hard match.
If he gets his back, though, he'll just rear naked him and
but he's gonna have to beat him. The thing is, he's gonna have to have. It's gonna. I don't know. Oliveira is so exciting because he just gets wiped often in the first round and then comes back in the second. So we could see Suzuki and just dominating him in the first. But then Oliveira just comes out and does something to him, and the second.
Yeah. I think it's going to be awesome.
He's really looking forward to it. A lot smaller and chunkier as well than
he can still strike, man. Yeah,
Oliveira have faced before.
Oh yeah.
Not sure how that will play out. Yeah.
Anyway, was there anything else?
Who's the other guy fighting Oliveira?
Suzuki, I think he's Armenian.
So he's a wrestler.
He's a pretty good striker. Super powerful. But he can wrestle.
I haven't seen much of his fights, to be honest, but I know Oliveira is just a machine. So, but yeah, stacked lineup. So that should be good. Is there anything else anyone wanted to chat about? Here we go. Speaking of MMA. Oh, that's the Nick. I didn't realize that Nick Eddy is the same Nick who was giving us that info about Hex in Australia, because he had a private ruling that the ATO was saying that you could treat the Hex stake yield as a capital gains rather than as income. Yeah, that was a private ruling, so that's you have to see, but maybe people can cite his case if they had got a private ruling with the ATO, and then we're waiting for the ATO to actually publish that and to take out.
What was so interesting about that private ruling was, and we haven't obviously we haven't read it on the site yet. We're waiting for it to go up on the ATO website. But the interesting thing about it is that in that private ruling, they determined that an end stake, it does not constitute a tax event. So the actual tax event is like you stake, and then you end the stake, and then the tax event is when you then sell it or change it into another crypto, I guess is if you go off what the ATO's other guidance says. But so there's potentially that's potentially a good outcome, because the thing is that you know, if you end a stake under the current you know, and this is not tax advice or anything, go ask your accountant, they probably know, but currently, as far as I understand, you end a stake, and a lot of accountants are saying, oh, you need to like pay tax on that stake being ended because you've got all these new tokens. But like based on that private ruling, and just remember it is a private ruling, so if you want that to apply to yours, you would have to like go and ask the ATO, you know.
You don't have to
make
ask,
the
you
case.
just have to put that in, and if they find a problem with what you've done, then they'll come back to you.
Interesting. Also,
I guess you could just cite it, couldn't you? I guess you could. I mean, I don't know. You have to ask your accountant. I don't know. I really have no idea.
Yeah, we're not tax advisors. Don't take any.
We don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. We just literally finished our beers. But Nick also mentioned that Dom Street Buddha Marfan's next fight is July 22nd. So we have to check that out as well.
What does he play? Is that?
I think it's the Eternal MMA. Is what he's in. Have you seen that one? It's brutal, man. It's wicked.
Yeah. Is it different rules?
Or? No. I think it's just MMA rules, like, you know, no fish hooks. No, like, you know, kneeing when they're on the ground or whatever, like pretty much UFC. But yeah, the Eternal.
Is it an Australian thing or?
Yeah, it's an Australian one. Yeah.
Oh, right,
yeah.
Cool.
It's really cool. I've seen a few of them. You get some really good fighters and you get some pretty ordinary ones as well, where you're kind of going, what are these guys doing? But I think that this guy, Dom Fans, he Street Buddha, let's just call him Street Buddha. He was fighting for like a championship. Like he was actually like a top level, you know,
cool.
was his last fight. And so apparently here it is here. He's got the PulseChain Go Pulse on his walkout shirt. So
how do people watch that fight?
That's awesome.
I mean, it's a while away, but
I'm going to head off. I'm going to see you later, guys. Sorry, I'm just going to duck out.
That's cool. See you. We're going to wrap it up anyway soon. No worries. Thanks, 43. How do we support him? Yeah, Nick just said July 22nd. So we've got a bit of time, but I'm sure he'll let us know when the fight is on, you know, how to stream it. Maybe it's in Perth. I could go down and check it out. That would be awesome. But yeah, good on him for being a Pulsican and representing Go Pulse, and I think that's a good way to get the spread the word. And yeah, did you guys want to say anything else before we wrap it up, like any outros or anything? Yep, Blue Bum, go for it.
Oh, no, it's goodbye. Thanks for having us on. Thanks for everyone in the chat.
Awesome.
Don't look past the Zen ecosystem. Like, if you want to like try to find out where the ball's being kicked to, rather than trying to chase the meme balls, I think that Zen, that's where I'm concentrating a lot of energy at the moment.
Sure.
And it's because I think that it's it could be where the ball's going.
All right. Well, there you go. Interesting. True Blue, what do you think, mate? You got any words to say?
It's hard to do everything. I want to look over at some of the Zen stuff, but it's like there's just so much going on. But no, my words would be get a hardware wallet, because there's been some things going on, but you know, they can save you. And the other one is, I've heard that dips are in the game.
That's right. I've heard that.
Hold on tight, and hopefully we come back up. So.
Do we know what happened to Nerdgirl? Like,
I was going to say, shout out to Nerdgirl. Really sorry to hear that she
Mars
she got wrecked.
So I saw somewhere that she said she had a client who asked her to look at their game, and she downloaded the game, and she thinks that's possibly like some sort of malware or keylogger or something.
Yeah, so, I don't know why she would do that.
Yeah, so there's that Mars Stealer is a basically they can attach that like Trojan to different things that you open. So this game, for instance, it would have opened it, and then it knows exactly where your seed phrase is within your web browser.
That's not hard to do, man.
Yeah, exactly. So it knows where that is. Yeah,
you can,
and then it's got a. Sorry. Go.
No. I was just agreeing with you that you're right.
Yeah.
Like that, those hot wallets in your browser, it just literally stores your seed like somewhere that you can access. So
exactly. So yeah, and then basically once they have that, then there's a keylogger that's part of that Mars stealer. It's waiting for you to put your password into your wallet extension. And then as soon as you do that, it just owns your wallet. And
you can even brute force it.
Yeah, it phones home, and then there we go. So
yeah, I mean, you wouldn't even need the passphrase you wouldn't even need the wallet password if you get those seeds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but the keylogger thing, like you can brute force a password anyway, unless it's got like 24
15
characters and it's got exotic symbols and things in there. If it's just alphanumeric, you can brute force it. Like so, look, that's just terrible. I think if people are going to use
a hardware wallet,
dedicated,
hardware wallet would have saved her.
Yeah, because the seeds on a hardware,
it had a passphrase as well.
Well, even it wouldn't have mattered because with a hardware wallet that you create the seed offline, the seed never touches the computer, so it's only ever generated inside the Trezor, and then when you connect the Trezor, you authorize it, with the hardware device.
It sounds like she made a number of mistakes, not having a hardware wallet, downloading some software she didn't fully know about, and then also she had everything in one wallet rather than dispersing over a number of wallets.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're going to have a dedicated laptop with your hot wallets and stuff in it, then you shouldn't be installing other programs and things on there. But us saying this is not helping her, and so it's like I'm not trying to rub it in or anything. I don't want to be mean or anything, because it's a terrible thing that's happened. The only reason why we talk about this is to try and educate others so that they think, oh, hang on, I've also got all of my stuff in one wallet or whatever. And then you think, well, maybe you should buy multiple hardware wallets, generate the seeds offline, all that sort of stuff. Listen to Papa Boner, and he talks about security. So it's very important to get that right. But exactly. Sorry to hear that for Nerd Girl. But anyway, we will fight the good fight and see you guys again next week. And I think, just maybe my thing would just be to zoom out. Dips are in the game, like Tribblue said. You've just got to understand that around this halving, there's going to be volatility, and this is what volatility means: is sometimes it goes down, sometimes it goes up. Take profits, things like that. Rotate into bags that are down. It is generally my sort of attitude, but whatever works.
Exactly.
Hope everyone has a good weekend, and we'll see you all again next week.
Sounds good.
Thanks, chat. Thanks, Replay Gang. Appreciate it. See you next week.
Later.